Hey, welcome to Outsmart Your Guitar. I'm glad you could join us. Today in rhythm guitar, we're going to focus on something called the rhythm triangle. This is a great little thing for you to delve into to understand the importance of your rhythm playing, because as a guitar player, when you're playing in a band, 90% of your playing is rhythm guitar. So you need to have a handle on all the aspects of what makes for great rhythm guitar skills. All right, let's get to it. And be sure to like and subscribe to Outsmart Your Guitar along the way. And remember, down in the description, you'll see a link to patreon.com Outsmart Your Guitar. Click on the link, go on over, check it out, join for free, and have access to a number of lessons, including the written material for you to sample, and then become a full-on patron by subscribing at one of 3 levels. Okay, let's go. Here it is, the rhythm triangle. At the top, you can see timing. Timing is the single most important aspect in any musical endeavor. If your timing isn't right, the music is just going to sound off. No matter what you do, if you're not precisely in time, doing things when and where they're supposed to happen, the music isn't going to work. In the lower right-hand corner, you see your fretting hand. Your fretting hand, well, you're making chords, right? So you've got to know the chords, and you've got to know them so well that you don't even have to think about it. Your fingers just go right to it, and they do it right in time when they're supposed to, so that it helps to convey what the music is trying to relate. And again, that has to do with timing as well. In the lower left-hand corner, you have the strumming hand. The strumming hand is responsible for conveying the feel of the music by how you strum the music, right? So if your strumming is off, you fail to convey the right feel. So the music fails to convey what it's trying to relate to the audience. So as you can see, all 3 of these aspects are critical to getting music to sound the way it's supposed to sound, the way it's designed to sound, and the way the composer intended it to sound. For this series of exercises in timing, we're going to take the beat and we're going to do what I call time division. Time division is basically you're taking the beat and breaking it into pieces. Right here, we're just playing straight on the beat, so straight 4s, right? So 1 strum per beat. You can choose any chord you want. I've got an A here. So you turn on your metronome, and I want you to play at 50 beats a minute. And the reason I want you to play at 50 beats a minute is at slower tempos, your timing must be more accurate. So this challenges your accuracy by being at a slower tempo. So here at 50 beats a minute, so as you can see, I was fairly accurate throughout. Now, I want you to do this for 2 minutes solid so that you know and can work on improving your accuracy. Okay, 2 minutes. For this exercise, we're now taking the quarter note and dividing it in half. So we're going to play 8th notes, and we're going to bring in the upstroke now as well. Still at 50 beats a minute. So you're going to have to make sure that you're smooth and flowing, very even, no herky-jerky, no hesitation or anticipation. Hesitation is basically you're going to come late. Anticipation is you're going to come early. Anticipation, you tend to speed up. Hesitation, you tend to slow down. And this is what you have to learn to avoid. right? And we'll talk more about that later as well. So 50 beats a minute. And now we're going to play 2 strums, one down, one up per beat. So I kept really good time there, I think. And that's the whole idea. Again, you want to do this for 2 minutes and listen very intently. Listen with a focused attention. Are you playing smooth and flowing? Now, if you're not, there is a little exercise you can do. We're at 50, right? So now what you do is you go up to 100 and like this. Now you're clicking on your down and your upstroke, and this will help you get your timing better. So if you are struggling with that, go ahead and set your metronome to 100 and work on hitting the click on both the down and the upstroke accurately. Again, do it for 1.5 to 2 minutes. Now, the reason for the 2-minute thing is you need to understand you're playing songs that are 3 to 5 or more minutes long. That's a lot of rhythm playing, and you have to be accurate all the way through. You have to be consistent all the way through. So 2 minutes on this. Now we're going to look at triplet eighths. That's 3 strums per beat. And you'll notice on 1, the beat is a downstroke. On 2, the beat is an upstroke. And so on 3, downstroke. On 4, upstroke. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and up. Okay, so if you can do so, set your metronome at triplet eighths and play 50 beats a minute still. Okay, and here's what you're going for. Set that up, get in the groove, get the feel. You can even do this, right? And then you start playing. Okay, now what you do is, because, whoops, you get that all happening, you now go back to straight quarter notes and play. This one I did backwards. You triplets on everything. You had to click on every note just to get your feel right. Then you go back to straight quarters and play without the other 2 notes of the triplet clicking to see if you can hit your beat stroke correctly. Every note has to be evenly spaced. There can't be any gaps, wide gaps or narrow gaps. Again, hesitation, you're going to fall behind. Anticipation, you're going to speed up. So 2 minutes or so getting this one in shape. Okay, now 16th notes. That's 4 notes per beat. You count it, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, right? And so forth. The beat stroke is the first note of each 4 strums. All right, 50 beats a minute. Set it up on just straight quarter notes, and you're going to get 4 notes into each beat, and you can set like this and get your timing right, and then start to play. And just like that. Now, if you're struggling with that, go ahead and set your metronome at 200 beats a minute. This way you're clicking on every note, both down and up strokes, and that will help you get the sense of how it's supposed to sound. Okay, so then once you're comfortable with that, go back to straight quarter note clicks and try to play it to where your beat stroke is right on the beat click. Spend 2 minutes. Now there's more that I could do to show you time division, dotted quarters, and all this other stuff, but you get the idea here that most of your rhythm is going to be pretty much one of these four things: quarter notes, eighth notes, triplet eighths, or sixteenths, or some blend of quarters, eighths, and sixteenths, right? So really get yourself in tune with understanding note division, how you parse the beat into its component pieces and how they're put together. This is what helps create feel. But your timing is critical to establish the right feel. If your timing is off, the feel will be off, right? So spend some time getting this down. Don't just gloss over this stuff. If you want to improve your rhythm skills, or if you think you have really good rhythm skills, just to check yourself to make sure your rhythm skills are as good as you think they are, do these exercises. And at 50 beats a minute, if you really want to challenge yourself, drop it down to 40 beats a minute and see how well you can hit the mark. Because again, remember, slower tempo means more accuracy required. Okay, so there's your timing exercises. Let's start looking at the fretting hand now, and that involves forming chords and moving between chords. So on screen, you see an F, a G, and a C. The F and the G are full bar chords, and then we have the C is a first position chord. Now, what I want you to pay particular attention to is these three fingers. You'll notice in playing the three chords that they stay together as a unit. They don't move. You don't flail about lifting and breaking them apart between chords. A lot of people do this. You want to keep these fingers together so they're operating as a single unit. And that's part of the key of this exercise and the success of what follows being more readily possible. So work out these chords, and you can even kind of play around however you want to do it, right? Just move between the three chords for a minute or two. Okay, let's put this into a little exercise. You're going to play at 80 beats a minute, and if you can't make the changes at 80 beats a minute, it's okay to slow down. Just don't go faster than 80 beats a minute. And here's your exercise. Here we go. So you just go through that for a minute or two with the metronome. Make sure you're right on the beat as well, and making your chord changes smooth and flowing. If you're hesitating between the excuse me, if you're hesitating between the G and the C, or the C and the F, slow down until there is no hesitation. The object here is smooth transitions on the beat in time. All right, so spend a couple minutes with that. Let's put these three chords to work in an actual progression. So the progression, the strum pattern is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now you'll notice on the and of 4, I'm still playing the F, and on the 1, I'm going to the G. And the same thing on the and of 4 with the G, and the 1 with the C. Oops, if I can fret the chord correctly, and then the and of 4 on the C, and the 1 on the F. Those are your critical spots right there, okay? So you got to pay attention to that. So what I want you to do is walk through this, get the progression down, the strumming pattern and the chord changes, and then put it to a metronome at a tempo you can actually accomplish this. I'm going to be at 80 beats a minute for the demonstration. Here we go. So you see, I played it smooth and flowing. I didn't rush to get to the next chord, and I didn't hesitate getting to the next chord. And that's what you want to do. Again, no faster than 80 beats a minute. This is about learning to move between chords to create the right effect as the music demands so that you're playing it correctly, right? Spend a couple of minutes doing this. This next exercise is involving 3 chords. They're all Gs. They're G majors, different versions. Here's a G major, which you probably already know, G major 7, which you might know, and a G major 6, which you may have come across. All major chords. Major, major 7, major 6. So what I want you to do is work these out. If you've never played the major 7 and the major 6, here's a good opportunity to learn a couple of new chords. And take your time here. Now, just to help you, between the G major and the G major 7, these 3 fingers retain their relationship. You just rotate your first finger, move these over 1 string and back 1 fret. Like that, and that'll make the G major 7 a little easier to play. G major 6, well, you're just going to have to learn to get your fingers to do what they're supposed to do. Make sure this finger's first joint is arched, don't lay it flat. Okay, so take a few minutes if you've not gone over these chords ever before and learn them, and then start to move between them. If you know the major 7 and may sort of know the major 6, take a couple of minutes here too to get yourself more comfortable moving between all 3 chords. Okay, this exercise I have borrowed from Mickey Baker's jazz course, volume 1. He numbered the chords 1, 2, and 3. The G is 1, the G major 7 is 2, the G major 6 is 3, because you need to look at these as major, major 7, and major 6. And so you'll notice the sequence is 1, 2, 3, 2, and then we move up 1 fret to A flat, and the sequence is 1, 2, 3, 2. Again, the chords now have a numeric identity as well to help you keep everything straight. So the object here is to play through the progression, 2 beats per chord, and then move up a fret in time to A flat and play the major, major 7, and major 6, and then move up to A. And you just keep going up to E flat on electric and C on acoustic. And this is the idea. Whoops. The repetition of playing the 3 chords and then moving up and moving up and moving up. This is a great exercise to really get your fingers used to making these changes, all right? Now, I'm at 80 beats a minute. You can go at any tempo where you can actually make the changes. Move up a fret. Each cycle moves up a fret. Whoops. And if you muff a chord along the way, just keep going. The object is the repetition will get your fingers into the muscle memory realm of learning the shape. And this is an important aspect of your fretting hand. It has to have the chords ingrained, your muscle memory, right? And so take 10, 15 minutes to go through this exercise and really get these chords working as they're supposed to work, smooth and flowing in the changes between each chord in time. No hesitating and no anticipating in getting to the next chord. This next exercise, we step it up a little bit more for you. We have a B minor 7, we have a D minor 6, an A major 7, an E minor 6, and an F sharp 9. This is a great little exercise in chord changes that will really challenge you. So work on these chords, get comfortable with each one of them. All right. Here's the progression. In order, you learn the chords, and in order, you'll play the chords. 4 beats on the B minor 7, 4 on the D minor 6, 2 on the A major 7, 2 on the E minor 6, 4 on the F sharp 9. And you know, sometimes you're going to screw up a chord, right? There we go. And that's the progression. So now I'll do it at 80 beats a minute. And you'll see the importance of nailing things right on time. And then you do it again. The object again is to really get this down, get comfortable with it, and make it smooth and flowing. I'm at 80 beats a minute, and most of my students can't do this at 80 beats a minute, so I have them slow down even to 50 beats a minute to learn the chord shapes, to get them in place, to get the muscle memory working for this sequence. All right? You do exactly the same if you need, as slow as you need to play it. That's the tempo you go. Spend 7 to 10 minutes here. As you can see, I went through a simple and then a medium and then a difficult set of chord changes to help you understand that you're going to, as a guitar player, need to step up your game to improve your rhythm skills. And this means your fretting hand has to be able to play whatever is required in order to make the music work and sound the way it's supposed to sound. This is the way you get your songs that you're learning by other people to sound closer to the record. It's critical. You look at some of the guitar players you admire, Mark Knopfler, Eddie Van Halen, Danny Gatton, who else? Vince Gill, Brad Paisley, David Gilmour. Every one of these people, their rhythm chops are simply perfect because they do not neglect their rhythm skills. We all know these guys as great lead guitar players, but when you dial into listening to what's going on, apart from the solos, you're hearing great rhythm chops, okay? So if they think it's important, you should too. So take the time. Do not gloss over getting your fretting hand together, learning chords that you're not comfortable with, because this helps your dexterity in the long run. Remember, this is a long game thing, this playing of guitar. It's not a short term. Short term benefits, the low hanging fruit, only gets you this much. It's the long game that gets you where you really want to be and be sounding the way you want to hear yourself playing. The way you hear yourself in your head, you need to do the work. There's just no way around it. No shortcuts. So, fretting hand, also important. And you'll notice we're talking about timing here as well. So you see timing also is a part of this second part of the triangle. So be sure to use your metronome when you're doing any fretting hand exercises. That gets your hand in shape to move when and where it's supposed to be, to do what it's supposed to do, to get the sound that is supposed to be produced. All right? When focusing on the strumming hand, I have been teaching for many years the idea of steady state. Steady state is basically the right hand, whoops, if you don't lose the pick, is in constant motion. So in this case, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if you go to sixteenths, it's 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and right? So the object is that, as you see on the screen here, we have the Bo Diddley rhythm. And it's basically, it plays like this. Now you'll notice my hand is in constant motion. I'm muting here on the scratch notes that you see there, the X's, so that you're only hearing actually being played. Now, as you can see, I can play it if I just do it this way, but the likelihood is that the timing is not going to be accurate. Therefore, steady state takes precedence here to make sure it happens. And so forth. So getting your strumming hand to play smooth and steady requires that you work with a metronome, of course, because timing. Your strumming hand is what defines the quality and the sound of the rhythm. The Bo Diddley thing doesn't work without the right hand doing specific things and the muting of the fretting hand. So you see three things are working here: timing, fretting, what's going on here, and strumming. You know, though this is a strumming exercise, I want you to be aware that timing and what your fretting hand is doing help define, in this case, the Bo Diddley rhythm. Now, I'm at 80 beats a minute, and I get my hand going, 1 E and a 2 E and a, right? And you'll notice on the first and the fourth beat, I'm actually playing on the beat. For the rest of them, you'll see I'm playing on the of 1, and of 2, and the and of 3, in addition to playing on the 1 and the 4 specifically on the first beat and the fourth beat. This requires you to be very accurate. When you are playing sixteenths, you tend to either drag or speed up. You either are behind the beat, which causes you to play slower and so drag the timing, or you anticipate the beat, so you're playing ahead of the beat and so tending to speed up. Working with a metronome helps you to overcome this, and you get your hand working as it should, your strumming hand. All right, so what I want you to do is just take 5 minutes and work on this. Take it slow and count it out exactly when you're playing, what part of the beat you're actually playing the notes, and then what part of the beat you're actually chicka-ing and not playing. All right, because as you can see, there's more not playing than there is playing. So again, take 5 minutes and work this out. This next rhythm I call a galloping rhythm because it tends to sound like a gallop. It is a difficult rhythm to play steady and staying in time and not rushing, getting ahead of the beat and so speeding up, or falling behind the beat, slowing down, delaying, and so slowing down the rhythm. And a lot of guitar players tend to do one or the other in rhythms like this because they're hard to maintain if you don't understand how they're supposed to be played. The steady state rhythm, your strumming hand, is involved here, and we're in 16ths, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, and so forth, right? So the rhythm here, the gallop, 1 goes to E and play and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a. And you'll notice it's 4 E and a. So the E and the a are ghosted on the fourth beat in both measures. Okay, so get this going. And just get comfortable playing the galloping rhythm and get this steady motion going here, not to a metronome yet. I want you to just get comfortable. Play it for a minute or so and really dial it in. And you can play the rhythm on screen to get you there. Then what I want you to do is bring in the metronome at a tempo where you can actually play this smooth and flowing and in time. I'm at 80 beats a minute, and here's what you're going for. As you can see, I'm hitting right on the money with everything so that it flows and sounds exactly the way it's supposed to sound using the 16th steady state approach principle. Okay, so get this steady state idea down. I teach it elsewhere, so you can go to that area and learn to play correctly. Usually in beginning guitar lessons is where I really cover it in depth. And so if you go to those lessons, lesson 3, 4, and 5, I think, you will get a good dose of how the steady state rhythm is supposed to work. You're playing when you're supposed to be playing, you're ghosting or just making the motion but not hitting the strings when you don't want sound. And you can also be muting in some of those instances as well with your fretting hand. So you see, strumming also involves timing. Timing skills are critical. Strumming skills are what make the rhythm have the feel that it has, but the timing has to be correct for that feel to be exactly what it's supposed to be. So spend about 5 minutes or more playing this rhythm to the metronome. Listen carefully and see where you're drifting, either speeding up or slowing down, right? And correct it as you go and really begin to get in the pocket of how the steady state will help you, in addition to the metronome, lock in being able to play these rhythms. Because what you'll do is you'll be calibrating that metronome in your head as you work with a metronome, so that when you're playing without a metronome, the metronome you've calibrated in your head will take over and help you maintain good timekeeping skills. All right? Again, 5 minutes playing this rhythm to see how well you're able to maintain staying in time and correcting yourself as you drift. As you can see by these two examples, your strumming hand is absolutely critical in getting the feel of these rhythms to come off and sound the way it's supposed to sound, and so have the desired effect, right? I didn't include it here, but if you look at the shuffle feel, you'll notice the strumming hand is indispensable. The strumming hand is what makes the shuffle by playing things where they're supposed to be played in relation to the beat to get the shuffle feel working the way it's supposed to feel, to give the song the motion that the shuffle feel is designed to provide and create, to make that song move and sound and feel the way it's supposed to feel. And this is true of any rhythm, whether straight time, shuffle time, waltz time, 6/8 time, you name it. When your strumming hand is doing everything correct, then the feel is going to be correct as well. All right? So don't blow this off. Understand the importance of the strumming hand. But again, remember, it's about the timing as well in most cases. The fretting hand comes into play in some situations, but for the most part, it's the strumming hand and the note placement in relation to the beat that creates the feel. And the strumming hand has to coordinate with the beat to get those notes happening right where they're supposed to happen, to get the feel happening the way it's supposed to happen and be the way it's supposed to sound. All right? Okay, that'll do for this particular lesson. If you want to continue this series, go on over to patreon.com, outsmart your guitar, and become a patron at one of 3 levels. You will be glad you did, because you'll open up a whole lot of lessons that are not featured here and all the written material for every lesson that has it available. All right? So, for now, you take care, and we'll see you next time.